What's up guys, welcome to 4th tutorial of Android Studio app development by World Free Apps. In this tutorial I am going to explain you about Android architecture. What is Linux kernel, what are libraries, what are Android libraries, what are Android runtime, what is a application, what is Android application, and so on other etc things. So Android operating system is a stack of software components which is roughly divided into 5 sections and 4 main layers. As you can see in this Android architecture diagram, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sections and 4 main layers 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's talk about Linux kernel. What is Linux kernel? At the bottom of the layer is Linux 3.6 with approximately 115 patches. This provides a level of abstraction between the device hardware, and it contains all the essential hardware drivers like camera, keypad, display, etc. Also, the kernel handles all the things that Linux is really good at, such as networking and a vast array of device drivers, which take the pain out of interfacing to peripheral hardware. So now, what are libraries? What do you mean by libraries? On top of Linux kernel, there is a set of libraries including open source web browser engine, WebKit, well known a library, lib SQLite database, which is a useful repository for storage and sharing of application data, libraries to play and record audio and video, SSL libraries responsible for internet security, etc. So, and what do you mean by Android libraries? Android libraries, this category encompasses those Java based libraries that are specific to Android development. Examples of libraries in this category include the application framework libraries, in addition to those that facilitate user interface building, graphics, drawing, and database access. A summary of some key core Android libraries available to the Android developer is as follows. Android app. What do you mean by this Android.app? It provides access to the application model. This is Android.app. This is Android.app. This provides access to the application model and is the cornerstone of all Android application. Now, what do you mean by this Android.content? It facilitates content access, publishing, and messaging between application and application components. And what do you mean by this Android.database? Android.database, it is used to access data published by content providers and includes SQLite database management classes. And what do you mean by this Android.gl? OpenGL. It is a Java interface to the OpenGL ES 3D graphics rendering API. What do you mean by this Android.os? It provides application with access to standard operating system services including messages, system services, and inter-process communications. What do you mean by this Android.test? It is used to render and manipulate text on a device display, on a Android device display. And Android.view is the fundamental building blocks of application user interface. And this Android.widget is a rich collection of pre-built user interface components such as buttons, labels, list views, layout managers, radio buttons. You can see in this layouts palettes, frame layout, plain text view, large text view, medium text view. These all are Android.widget. Text fields, plain text view, rating bar, spinner, web view. These all are Android.widget. Search view, test clock, analog clock, export, space, check test view. All of these are Android.widget. And what do you mean by this Android.webkit? .webkit. This is a set of classes intended to allow web browsing capabilities to be built into applications. Having covered the Java-based code libraries in the Android runtime, it is now time to turn our attention to the C or C++ based libraries contained in this layer of the Android software stack. You can see here Android runtime. What is this Android runtime? This is the third section of the architecture and available on the second layer from the bottom. This section provides a key component called Dalvik Virtual Machine, which is a kind of Java virtual machine specially designed and optimized for Android. The Dalvik VM makes use of Linux for features like memory management and multi-threading, which is intrinsic in the Java language. The Dalvik VM enables every Android application to run in its own process with its own instance of the Dalvik virtual machine. The Android runtime also provides a set of libraries which enable Android application developers to write Android application using standard Java programming language in Android Studio, like as in Android Studio programs, Eclipse, etc. software. Now what is this application framework? The application framework layer provides many higher level services to applications in the form of Java classes. Application developers are allowed to make use of these services in their application. The application framework includes the following key services, like as you can see activity manager. What is this activity manager? Controls all aspects of the application life cycle and activity stack. Now what is this content providers? Allows application to publish and share data with other application. What is this resource manager? Resource manager is provides access to non-code embedded resources such as strings, column settings, color settings, and user interface layouts. You can see this is this value section is resource manager. Here you can see strings, you can create color settings, interface, user interface layout. And what do you mean by notification manager? Notification manager allows application to display alerts and notification to the Android user. What is a view system? View system is an extensible set of views used to create application user interface. Now what is application section in this Android architecture diagram? You will find all the application at the top layer. You will have to write your application to be installed on this layer only. Example of such application are contacts, home, dialer, SMS, MMS, IM, browser, camera, alarm, calculator, contacts, voice dial, email, calendar, media player, etc. You can create all of these types of application in Android Studio by learning Java, XML programming languages. So this was my fourth Android Studio app development tutorials. So guys, so much thank you for watching this tutorial, and please subscribe to my channel for get updates on your Android Studio app development knowledge. So again, thanks for watching this tutorial. Now in next tutorial I am going to explain you about Android application components, and then I am going to create Android apps, how to create Android apps in Android Studio, how to do programming in Android Studio, how to write a program, how to create an application, how to run application in your Android phone, how to do many things, how to create many apps, flashlight apps, media player apps, how to use them, how to contacts, book, browser apps, games, and other things in Android Studio, how to create all these types of Android application, and run all of these in your Android phone. So again, thanks for watching this video and subscribe to my channel for more great videos. So guys, thanks for watching.